in a world crying out for a top 10 show. John Roca and Matt Nost are here to bring you the top 10. Take it away, boys.
Hey, welcome everybody to another episode of Topic
Thunder.
Here from the Top 10 show. We're excited to come back every week with a new half-hour show where we answer questions from you, the patrons. You can be a part of this show if you donate at the $5 and above level. Send in all the questions you want about whatever you want us to ask or talk about, and we get into it. I am one of your hosts, John Roca.
I am Matt Nost, and if you want to go over to patreon.com/the top 10 and do that, it's with the number 10, and we'd love to have you. The show, they send in whatever they want us to talk about. We have no idea what it is until we open the email itself, which sometimes leads to great discussions, and other times it's like, shit, I wish we had like a day to think about this.
Right, a little more time. But that's the fun of the show. It's totally extemporaneous, and we have no idea. It's essentially like both of us doing improv answering these questions, so it's a lot of fun. Well, one of us more seasoned than the other, of course, in Matt Nost, but it's still fun.
I've never done improv.
What? I feel like stand-up is improv, isn't it?
Well, I mean, crowd work is improv. And yes,
that's what I mean. Yeah.
Yeah. But improv, creating characters, I never did. You never did that as an acting thing?
No, not until I did one. I did one class at UCB for the entry level, and then I never went forward because I was like, that's a lot for a little bit back. Yeah. So I didn't go back again.
I tried out for one improv group. I've been doing, I was a glorified open micer. I think I've been doing comedy for like 18 months at that point. And through a friend who's like, this guy was starting a new troupe, and he invited out like 8 of us comics. And then it was 8 other people that had never done anything like this. And he ended up taking the 8 other people and one comic.
What a fucker, man.
And even the one comic was like, dude, we all were getting laughs at the audition. Those people, like, they're actors. They've never done anything like this. They don't know where the punchline is.
Yeah.
And he was like, so the troupe lasted like 2 shows or something, and it died.
No surprise.
But we were 18 months in. It's not like we're fucking Richard Pryor or
true.
Will Ferrell, or an improv sketch actor, Amy Poehler.
Right. Still, you've got comedic timing down.
Yeah. I've consistently made strangers laugh for about a year of this 18 months. The first 6 months were fucking rough as shit.
Yeah.
But But I never took a class or anything like that.
I was shit in the improv class. Just terrible. I was terrible every week. Terrible. I was so self-conscious. And I was just like, and all these other people who would have to do scenes, you could tell by the 3rd or 4th week, whenever they were called up to go up with me, there was the eye roll or the hesitation or the grimaced face, like, fuck, I'm not going to be able to.
I think that was you in your own head. Improv is the most supportive fucking group in Los Angeles. It's not even funny.
You're funny. If you're not funny, it's not as supportive. I just feel like.
I think if it's a first class, like an introductory class, I think that's. If it's later on, then you could do that. How the fuck has this guy made it this far type of thing? Then it's early on, it's just like everybody's kind of like, hey.
But then we did the final show, and in the final show, just being in front of a crowd, that's what I do best. And so it was like, for me, it was like, boom, let's slide in and let's have some fun. And then I thought afterwards, I'm like, I shouldn't have even taken the class. I could have walked out cold and done everything that they did. That was stupid of me. So I'm just not going to keep going forward in my head. That's what I thought in my head.
Well, you were lying to yourself, so that's good. I could have just done that without you. Bullshit, because you've never been in these, so you don't know how to interact. And
no, I've been on stage doing theater my whole life, so walking up on stage to play off of people, it just didn't seem like that difficult, I guess, when it called for it. I don't know.
I agree with you in that fashion. How to present yourself, how to project, how to like the other aspects of it, but how to react to a joke, yes, and like whatever the rules of improv
That's a fair point. Yeah.
You don't know those, you'd be like, what? Why? But I don't know. And you'd be a great straight man.
Yes, I think I would be. I am on the show. You're the funny one.
Yeah. But I'm saying, like in that you're fish out of water.
Yeah, true. Which is what I basically played the whole show. Any scenario they created, I was a fish out of water, and then handing it to the next person. So
Playing to your strong suits.
That's what I know best. All right. Anyway, we should get into. They want to hear our improv pursuits or exploits. These are the patrons here sending in stuff. I think Ruben Enriquez is the first one. I think I'm started this week, right?
Sure.
Oh, okay. This one's from Ruben, as I said. It says, hello, Matt and John. Hope you guys are holding up okay with all the craziness out there. My question is, look, there's craziness everywhere, bro. It's craziness everywhere. It's not exclusive. My question this week is, if you somehow were brought in as the GM of the Chicago Bulls for Matt and the Washington Wizards for John, what would be your first moves as GM? Thanks for taking my question, Ruben Enriquez. Matt, what would be your first moves as GM of the Chicago Bulls?
Like it or lump it, I'd find a trade partner for Zach LaVine and then basically make Markkanen and try and get Wendell Carter, make them the cornerstones of the team going forward, and see if we have something there as opposed to LaVine going out. I mean, last year was an anomaly in that Boylen took away half of Markkanen's touches and just said, well, you're going to have to basically make up for that by getting, rebounds.
Yeah.
And I don't. He's a better offensive player than that. Mm-hmm. So hopefully, with the addition of Billy Donovan, we can figure that out. But I think LaVine is better suited to end up on another team where he could maybe help push for a championship. We're now nowhere near that right now.
Right.
I think he'd be an excellent third banana.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Like, pair him with LeBron and AD. He's a great third banana for that team.
I was going to say he fits perfectly on the Lakers or even the Clippers, even the Bucks.
Anybody that's got a duo. Although Clippers, he overlaps a little bit with PG and Kawhi. So you need someone that doesn't have.
That's a good point.
I was going to say maybe New Orleans, but they want to see what they've got with the young guys. They could use a compliment next to Brandon Ingram and Zion, though.
Yeah, true.
Memphis, if he understood that Ja's the alpha.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's what I would do. That's the first thing. But I don't know that you can get more than 70 cents, 65 cents on the dollar right now for him.
Yeah.
Maybe.
I almost want the season to start as soon as possible, man. Great. The Lakers won. Awesome. Go move away. Let's see what it's second. Let's go. Let's get back these guys back on the court. Let's get Ja back on the court. Let's get these second-year guys coming in back on the court. And let's see. I know there's going to be a little bit kind of a truncated offseason, but let's see what they can bring to the table in a second year in the league, man. I'm excited for it.
Well, you're not getting it till January 15th right now, I believe, is the date. Yeah.
All right.
Maybe they'll shorten the season and they can bang it all out.
No, I think you're right.
Middle of summer.
You don't want to wear those bodies out, though, dude. But
you don't want to go up against the NFL again.
That's true.
So,
I think the first thing I'd do is find a trade partner for Beal and for Wall. I'd absolutely blow the whole fucking thing up. I'd fire Scotty Brooks. Not because there's anything wrong with Scotty Brooks. I just don't think I would want to saddle him with a rebuilding situation. Because I like how Hachimura is coming along. So maybe you don't fire Scotty Brooks. Maybe I just find trade partners for Beal and Wall because Scotty has certainly shown his ability to bring young players along. Did that at Oklahoma City. Did it here. Has doing it with Hachimura there in Washington. And he kind of repaired the divide between Wall and Beal anyway. So if there are trade partners out there for draft picks and decent players, high draft picks, I think that's where I would go. Just start all over again. Scotty in the war room with us, picking out these players out of college, letting us know who to go with. Or I do fire Scotty Brooks and I bring in Billy Donovan, who really still has connections in the coaching pipeline in college and knows these players probably, and he would give me a better assessment. So that's probably the first things I would do, to be honest.
Still, I mean, if you manage to do Beal and Wall, I would give you my vote for GM of the year. Because Beal,
those contracts are nasty, dude.
Well, Beal is the person that everybody wants to take to prom, whether that's guy, girl, or whatever the case is. And Wall is the one that's in like this abusive relationship that may or may not be over, and you're not sure. He's still pretty hot, but it could be a lot of dust up, and is it worth the headache?
I think Wall needs to go to the Knicks, man. Wall would fit perfectly with the Knicks. He's a superstar. He wants in his mind.
Look,
so going to New York makes all the sense in the world.
Leon Rose now runs New York, which is, I believe, Chris Paul's former manager.
Yeah.
And Carmelo Anthony's former manager. Carmelo looks like he's going to go back to the Knicks. Like, that makes any fucking sense in the world.
What? Stop it.
It's either Portland or the Knicks.
You got to go back to Portland. Why would you go back to fucking New York? What do you got to prove in New York?
Because Portland, is he willing to full-time accept the fact that could be coming off the bench, but you're a role player? You're third option at best on this, sometimes fourth option.
You're done. Your time, you had your time. It's over.
He goes to the Knicks. He's the 2 option.
But then he endures all the hate and the anger and the vitriol. Why would you put yourself through that? Yeah.
I agree. Yeah. But anyway, so New York has its eyes on different prizes.
That's true. That's
John
fair.
Wall. That's the thing. John Wall, it's going to be tough to find a dance partner for that one.
Would you trade him to Miami for Dragic? Do you think John Wall and Jimmy Butler is a fit?
The contracts won't line up. So Miami would have to give up something else. And no, I wouldn't do that. I think indications are now Miami's just going to try and do like a 1-year deal with Dragic, but get him a nice payday.
Yeah.
Just to show like, hey, respect, but we can't give you a 4-year because you're an injury and an older guy coming off of.
Right.
Or maybe it's a 1-and-1 team option is on the second year type of thing. I think that's what Dragic does. And then shows he's healthy, signs a long-term deal.
Right.
Long-term 3 to 4 year deal after that. Go ahead. You keep trying with Wall. Once again, GM of the year is on the line. I don't think Miami does that. Next.
I don't know if there's anybody, maybe Phoenix, but I don't know if there's anybody else that's out there.
Why?
Maybe Indiana, Oladipo. I don't know. Maybe I can get Oladipo for a Wall. I think that works.
He's so much older than their cores on both teams, especially Phoenix.
That's true.
Why would they do that? They'd have to give too many assets for a guy that's 7 years older than the prime of their core.
Maybe I can trade him to the Lakers and just take everybody, Kuzma, bring back McGee, get all those picks. Maybe that's something. Maybe even get the Casanova kid or Caruso kid. I don't know.
I say no if I'm the Lakers.
Of course, that's your entire backup.
It's this over and over and over again.
I mean, curious, man.
Who knows what Houston does? Yeah. So maybe Houston because I have no idea what they're going to do, but I don't think Houston does it.
Could I trade John Wall for? No, there's no way. Harden's coming. Russell. Oh, Russell. Maybe a Wall for Russell. I'm cool with that. I'm actually cool with that. If the contracts line up, Russell would reinvigorate Washington, and he is wasted being second option on a team. He's wasted. The guy is a fucking alpha. Whether he wins or not, he's an alpha. So let him run a team.
If I'm Houston, I don't immediately hang up. It's intriguing.
Right.
It just Wall's now proven to be injury prone. Westbrook has been out.
Yeah.
But he had that, when Pat Bev ran into him and tore his, I think it was his MCL.
Yeah.
That was a freak type of thing. Whereas Wall slipped in the shower.
Yeah.
And tore his Achilles.
How do you do that, dude? I've taken numerous showers. I've never slipped in the shower and tore my Achilles.
He's a world-class athlete. How does this happen?
Yeah. I mean, that's true.
Granted, it happens, but how then do you tear your Achilles? Fall?
Yeah, that's what I want to figure out. I don't know how
this
do that.
just it always felt like a cover story for something that neither him nor the Wizards wanted to agree to.
Yeah, like Shaq. One time Shaq got injured and faked and lied about how he got injured. Yeah.
It's easier on everybody if they just say he slipped in the shower like an old person.
It's like jumping out of a stripper's hotel room. Man.
Who knows? Who knows?
Anyway, but yeah, I'd trade. If I could trade Beal and Wall, that's what I would do. And I would trade Beal not because I can't build around him, but because he's given us enough and we put him through enough hell. He should go someplace where he can win, and as a thank you,
Yeah, and you'll get the greatest haul. So it's the best path to rebuilding if you move him now because you're not going to win a championship as you're currently constituted.
I don't care where I dump Wall. Okay. Thanks so much, and Ruben. I appreciate that question. We appreciate that question. What's the next one there, Mike? Matt.
The next one we can do at the end. You see what it is?
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah. Okay. So what
we'll move on to Machine Gun Lemke, Chris Lemke.
Oh no, again another one. Nice.
What's up, guys? Trying to keep these spread out so you don't get hit with 4 and 2 week span again. I blame COVID. Here's the question. What actor / director in either TV or film were you surprised or disappointed just didn't make it? Had a couple start, but fell off the cliff of obscurity. Okay. Second question for John. Since you have told people you are moving to San Diego, what's your tally of whale's vagina jokes hurled your way? Such an odd mnemonic to have stick for the city. Be well and go vote. Lemke.
Yeah. Actor, director in either TV or film, we're surprised this one just didn't make it. Well, you can't really say that with a director, right? Because like, even if you have a one-hit wonder, you can always default to the television. But what is didn't make it? What's the definition of didn't make it, Matt?
It's a great question.
Yeah.
Maybe, I mean, for a director, maybe it's the lofty heights you assumed.
Yeah.
To come out the gate like a Shyamalan.
Yeah. He says had a couple start but fell off the cliff of obscurity.
See, that's tough.
Yeah, that is tough.
Because very rarely do you go, I got a good feeling about this guy, and then you don't see them for 10 years.
Right.
I mean, you could say like Eric Bana, or Clive Owen, but they made it and they were there for a time. They just very few people are Tom Cruise.
Yeah, when you say didn't make it means like you didn't get there.
So who the fuck's name do you know from TV and history past? You're like, oh, you know what? Do you remember this 17th actor? He comes in on this very one specific scene. I always thought he was, indelible. That's tough.
Maybe the guy from Rocket Man? Your film that you love so much? Harlan Williams. Yeah, he didn't really, they tried, but then he didn't really get there.
But are you surprised?
That's a good point. You're right. I guess that is part of the equation.
Yeah.
Surprise.
He had a distinct acting style. It was that, Half Baked and Dumb and Dumber.
Oh, speaking of Half Baked, Jim Brewer. I thought for sure, and to be honest with you, this actually is a really good timing, this question. For the last few days, I have gone into an SNL wormhole with the Jim Brewer stuff. I've been watching his Pesci show and his Goat Boy and and I'm like, this guy did everything fucking Sandler did, but and just as good, if not better. But for some reason, except play the guitar and all that, but for some reason, he didn't cross over. He didn't become this kind of like lead of movies and kind of, because he could have been a romantic. He was a decent, good looking guy. Like I just thought for sure Jim Brewer was one of these guys when I saw him in the mid-90s, because I'd seen him do stand up. And then when he got SNL, I was like, oh, this is great. I thought for sure there's going to be the next level where he's going to be one of these comedians like Jim Carrey doing these films, because no one thought Jim Carrey was going to do what he did. And I thought it was just going to be like Jim Carrey doing these like serviceable, fun comedies, an occasional good one or great one. But yeah, I guess I was disappointed that he never quite made it, and surprised too.
Well, I mean, I think Sandler made it in the same way that Fallon did. They always had like a smile and this boyish charm.
Yeah.
And worked for Sandberg a little bit too. But Fallon and Sandler were more smiley, like giggly, ha 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 ha, cute on the show.
Right.
And it's helped translate them over to a long, more mainstream career.
Yeah.
What a weird time in SNL where Goat Boy.
That was funny, dude. I'm sorry.
I liked it at the time, but I've gone back to watch it. I've gone down the SNL wormhole.
Oh, yeah. Oh, right on.
Shit, last week I couldn't get that. Dun, 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 what is it? Pass me the basketball. Give it to me. Gimme, because I'm gonna dunk it. Basketball. Gimme the ball because I'm gonna dunk it. Hey. It's fucking that. Such a dumb premise, but I think that's genius.
Yeah, actually, that's good. Yeah, that's good stuff.
John Tesh and his brother, the little known fucking lyrics too. It's such a dumb, great idea.
Yeah.
Up, basketball. Give me the ball, because I'm gonna dunk it. Yeah. So dumb, so great.
And sticking with SNL, I think Sherry O'Terry is another one that I thought for sure. She was so good on SNL, man. Mm-hmm. And she was funny in the occasional Jim Carrey film when she would pop up, or these other things, and then just nothing. And you see her now, and it looks like it. Look, I'm not trying to judge or anything, but looking at her now or in these recent like anniversaries and stuff, she looks like it's been a bit of a hard life. And so I don't know if she struggled with anything. I don't know if but it looks like she might have. And I'm not trying to be critical. I'm just saying the look. And so, she was one. I mean, she was such a star in SNL. Almost all the skits she was in worked really, really well. I mean, Dratch kind of came in and took that slot after she left. And then after Dratch, it was Nassim Pedrad after her. And Nassim's still kind of working and doing her thing. She's got a couple series and stuff. But like Sherry O'Terry, I thought for sure, man, was going to just be, boom, just do sitcoms and be a series regular on these sitcoms and have no problem. I mean, I didn't think Poehler or Faye, I had no concept that Faye was going to cross over. Like, I just didn't think at all. I thought she'd end up running a show or something. I had no idea she was going to be a lead of a series that would be revered by so many people. That shocked me, man.
I figured Poehler, I used to watch her on Upright Citizens Brigade.
Okay. See, I never saw that. Okay.
Yeah, there's a few sketches from that have ass pennies, and then I think it was Little Timmy or something like that. Mm-hmm. Matt Besser he's playing a child, but he's Matt Besser, so he's tall, lanky, whatever.
Right.
But so he's playing like a 5-year-old or a 4-year-old, but who doesn't realize that he just has this enormous penis that hangs down to his ankle. So his parents have to like strap it down, and he's crying and tries to go on a bike, and it's such a but it stuck with me, man. I like that's a good one. And Ass Pennies was a good one too. But I remember from that, so I always assumed like she'll get another shot because she's now been on 2 shows that have UCB fair. Was a cult show, but it got her launched. And then SNL started basically cherry picking UCB actors for the next 10 years to be part of the cast.
Right. So that became the thing in LA. You got to get into UCB. Yeah.
Exactly. So if anybody knows comedy, it's Amy Poehler, and then people in LA, they love nothing more than throwing money at any problem, which means let's bring in somebody like Amy Poehler.
Yeah. Right.
So.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Is there anyone on your end? I've suggested 2. Is there anyone on your end that you could think of?
Oh, there was another SNL one when you were talking SNL.
Okay.
It just dropped off the face, and now I'm trying to scan my brain to remember exactly who that was.
Okay.
I mean, David Spade I thought would get more of a shot, but he didn't.
Well, he was on that. He's got a talk show now.
He does, and he was on a sitcom for like 9 straight years or something.
Yeah, Rules of Engagement that no one I know watched. I don't think anyone of us, none of us know anybody who watched that show.
But yeah, he did a few movies and then kind of segued just straight over into TV and was on TV for a decade that I never saw. Him and Patrick Warburton and I think Donald Logue. Is that the main 3 dudes?
Donald Logue, yeah.
And then I can't recall.
And then what's her face from what show was she on? She was on another show before she got on that show. She plays Patrick Warburton's wife. I forget the actress's name. She showed up in
Courtney Lee Smith type of show.
Courtney Thorne-Smith. Is that
Courtney Thorne-Smith?
Yeah.
She was on
maybe
something about Jim. What was Jim Belushi's show?
Yeah, what
according
about
to Jim?
Megan Price. That's her name, Megan Price. She was on the last season of Curb. She had like a 2-episode arc on the last season of Curb. But what was she on before that? Oh, Grounded for Life. That's the one. She was on Grounded for Life. I remember that one. That one was her and Donald Logue. Yeah. With Kevin Corrigan, for God's sakes. Yeah, she's a cutie, man. I always thought she was one of those pretty attractive ladies in comedy, man.
Okay.
So sometimes I'd watch episodes just with her in it because I think she's very pretty. And then when she showed up on Curb, I was like, oh, that's awesome. That's great.
Yeah.
A little 2-episode arc with her. 'Cause she's very funny too.
Let's see. Damn it. I can't remember who that SNL person was. They're gone now.
Well, if it comes to you, we'll circle back.
Yeah, sure.
And as for whale's vagina, I've only gotten like 3 or 4 times. It hasn't been that much because I think it's been so long since that it's not that big of a deal anymore.
Yeah, it's done.
Yeah.
I'm surprised you got it 3 to 4 times.
Well, it's LA. They got their jokes. All right. Where are we at right now? We're at 25. You want to do one more?
Sure, let's do one more and we'll call it a day. This one comes to us from Mr. Paul Cree.
Sure.
And he says, "Hi, John and Matt. Hope you're both well. I just wanted to say thanks for continuing to bring us all great content, especially over this trying time. It's been especially helpful for me to keep me distracted and put a smile on my face, as in July, I lost my dad. Oh, that sucks.
Oh.
Yeah, we just saw him, too.
Damn it.
He was a massive part of my life and one of the people that really instilled my love of movies."
Sorry, Paul.
Yeah, that sucks, man.
Yeah.
I wanted to discuss Mulan and its Disney Plus debut. According to sources, and he actually gives fucking footnote at the bottom.
Yeah,
he's got an asterisk and he's got, according to his sources, and he quotes his sources. Good for him. Good journalistic integrity there. Paul works at the BBC.
Yeah.
Disney Plus has 60 million subscribers, half domestic, half international. Of these 30 million U.S. households, 29% bought Mulan for $30. That's $261 million. The international numbers haven't been released, but if we approximated at the same percentage, 29%, that would be a total of 522 million. As Disney has distributed it themselves, they get to keep all the profits. Traditionally, they would be splitting with exhibitors. To equal these profits for Disney, it would have to have made over $1 billion at the global box office, which I believe it did. Which I believe it did have the potential to do, but was by no means a guaranteed based on these numbers, assuming they are accurate. What are the chances that we see more premium access windows on Disney Plus for other films? Maybe Soul, maybe Black Widow. Thanks, your friend Paul Cree. P.S. Oh, looking forward to the international rounds of Golden Ticket. Well, he may be coming up in the very near future.
He may be. Well, here's my response to Paul. Clearly, that was written earlier than the news that dropped over the last few weeks. So September 21st is when he sent that one in. We're still catching up on all of these. So, but keep sending them in. Clearly, Soul is going to Disney Plus. It's dropping on Christmas, and of course, Disney announced last week, as we're recording this, that they are restructuring their entire studio to focus on streaming. And so that's going to make it even more of a possibility that you'll see stuff like Black Widow and other things streaming. And I know the purists are screaming from the high heavens, don't take away my theaters away from me. But these are businesses. These are not here. These businesses are not here to hold your hand and stroke your hair and make you feel good about movies again. Their job is to make money. If they happen to stroke your hair and make you feel good about movies, then great. But what they really want is your money. So if they've altered things and understand that COVID is a real difficult situation for them to navigate now with theaters being closed and their hesitancy to release their new product into those theaters then that are open, then you've got to figure out how to make your money. And a lot of investors are pushing Disney to focus more on streaming. So it just seemed the natural order of things that they would. So that's what they're doing now. So I think we're going to see more of this content drop onto streaming. And I think we'll have a better idea how to quantify their profits. Like people have studied box office. Now we're going to have to see what are their actual numbers. And yes, removing theaters, which took 50%, depending on what studio and what movie of the profits, it allows Disney to keep more of the profits. So Disney doesn't have to make $1 billion off the movie. It can make 500 and 750 million, and it's still making what would equate to $1 billion at the box office. So it just makes more sense.
I was always under the impression that, and I don't know, you more than likely know better than I do, but the opening weekend, the exhibitors get 10% or so. And then week 2, it goes up. And week 3, it goes up. So they start making more as the movie's been out for longer.
No.
But that opening weekend that the studios got the lion's share of the money.
No. The opening, it depends on the movie, right? Sometimes I think, Matt, you might be right for certain specific cases, but overall, it's usually 50% from the beginning because theaters have negotiated, been if we don't show you movies, you're not going to make a dime. So you got to give us 50% of the profit because we're doing all the effort by putting it on the screens, by getting staff to, work the ticket booths, by working the refreshments and blah, blah, blah. So that's been the exchange. But sometimes, depending on the movie, the studio works out a deal where, like, for example, Tenet, because they were so desperate for content, the theaters were, they reduced their asking to 25%. So I think Warner Brothers and Chris Nolan was making 75% of whatever profit came in from the movie and overseas and domestically. So it's just those little changes they have to make throughout to let it be. So, but now with the 17-day window that Universal and AMC are doing, who knows what happens going forward, and with COVID, obviously. But I think we're going to see more and more studios jump to streaming, and I'm okay with that. I know some people are going to miss the theater experience, but I'm okay
something like Soul.
Yeah, right.
It makes all the sense in the world, because then also Disney could say, well, we want to provide the, experience, but in a COVID environment, and what parents want to take their family out to a theater where there's that kind of lurking in the background.
Yeah, exactly.
So we'd rather err on the side of the caution and still give you that. Now, a year from now, when things are projected to be, opened back up, I was about to say get back to normal, but it'll take a while before everybody's back to normal type of thing.
True.
But things are fully opened back up, then it's a real discussion, because maybe people are still tentative about going out. It's like, how long will this? I would imagine certain tier films like Tenet would not stream first, because Nolan would be like, this is a theater experience and we're going to do it at the theater type of deal. Right. But it's also not a Disney company or a Disney product.
Yeah.
And you have that to deal with. Warner Brothers doesn't have the subscription service. Otherwise, they probably would have gone that route as well.
I mean, they have HBO Max, but I think they're still figuring out what to do with that at this point, other than the new content. They're still figuring out how to be able to drop and make the decision to start dropping these things onto. But I think if Justice League has insane numbers, then why not? I mean, you're not losing anything by putting it on the streaming, just the experience of going to the theater, and people will get past that. I really think people.
For something that's already been out. Yeah, I agree. Yeah. This is basically, director's cut. Mm-hmm. So director's cuts sometimes get theatrical. Sometimes they just get a DVD for sales. We're trying to make more money. They're just trying to make more money. Fully understand it. Doesn't bother me in the slightest. Disney is just so streamlined that once they own it, so how can we monetize everything about this? Yeah, absolutely. They'll figure it out. Disney will. The mouse always figures it out, Matt. They do. They're going to make that money. Well, once they own it's just like, it's our property, and we got to, they're dropping the ball in certain areas, and they crush it, just flat out crush it in others. They do. Absolutely. So, okay. Well, all right. Well, that's, I hope, thanks, Paul, for that. And of course, I hope I speak for Matt. We sent you our sympathies, man, and our deepest condolences for the loss of your dad. It's a tough thing to go through in life. We didn't know about it before you did the show, Golden Ticket, or else we would have definitely talked to you about it, like held you on after the show was over and had our own personal conversation with you. But maybe down the road we can do that with you, Paul. That'd be great. And so thanks for listening to our content. Thanks for letting it entertain you. And hopefully we are making you smile and laugh at the tough times as you're processing this incredible loss in your life, man. Yeah, our hearts go out to you and to everybody in roughly the same situation. Yeah. And, stay safe out there. Hopefully today's show was a distraction. Thankfully, Paul, gave us the terrible story and then followed up with the always entertaining numbers breakdown, because who doesn't get enthralled with math? I love math, but there's a reason, A Beautiful Mind didn't do so hot at the box office. That's a good point. But thanks to everybody that sent in questions today, and to the supporters over at patreon.com/the top 10 with the number 10. Paul, we hope you're doing well. Everybody else out there, you can follow me anywhere at Matt Knost. And that's it for me this week.
You can follow me at The Rocha Says on Twitter and on Instagram. And hey, if you've been listening to us on the podcast feed, don't forget we also have a YouTube channel. If you want to come watch us on the YouTube channel, just type in the top 10 and Rocha or Nost, and it should come up there for you to take a look at. And then you can subscribe and watch our pretty faces talking about the answering your questions and also talking about the topics that we do every week on our main show. So there you go. All right. Thanks, everyone. Any last things, Matt? Oh, yeah. Yeah, go ahead.
If you haven't and you're on Instagram, Bobby Carney is crushing it on Instagram for us. We're putting up all kinds of different content. So if you want to follow us over there, it's at the Top 10 Podcast with the number 10, at the Top 10 Podcast. And that's over on Instagram. So check us out over there. And that's it. Forgot.
There you go. All right. Take care, everybody. We'll talk to you next time on Topic
Thunder.